This is K. Devani Reddy, Assistant Professor in Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, EEE Department. In this video, I am going to teach types of the rotor and a rotor construction of three-phase induction motor. So, according to the type of the rotors, three-phase induction motors are classified into two types. One is squirrel cage rotor induction motors and slip ring or wound rotor induction motors. Constructional features of squirrel cage rotor. See, this is copper bars, that is called copper end rings, this point, and laminated iron core of the rotor, or copper or aluminum bars. We are using copper or aluminum bars as a rotor winding in a squirrel cage induction motor rotor. These are the short circuited end rings. In the case of squirrel cage induction motor rotors, the rotor core is laminated. The thickness of the lamination is depending upon the frequency of the induced EMF in the rotor windings. Generally, the induced EMF frequency in the rotor circuit is very less. It is in terms of the single digit frequency. So, due to the less frequency of induced EMF in the rotor circuit, very thick laminations we are using. Whereas in the case of the stator, very thin laminations are used because the induced EMF in the rotor, induced EMF in the stator is generally, the frequency of induced EMF in the stator is equal to the supply frequency. That is why we have a relation, frequency is inversely proportional to the thickness of the laminations. So according to that relation, in the case of the rotor laminations are very thick laminations because of the induced EMF frequency is very less. That is why thick laminated rotor core generally preferred in case of the squirrel cage rotor structures in a three-phase induction motor. And a squirrel cage rotor have semi-open type slots. In the semi-open type slots, we have copper or aluminum bars which are inserted in the semi-open type, and the outer periphery of the semi-open type slots are smoother, and due to smooth surface, uniform air gap between a stator circuit and rotor circuit will be there. So due to the uniform air gap, flux distribution in the air gap is uniform. So the harmonic fluxes and harmonic torques are eliminated or reduced. Eddy current losses in case of the squirrel cage rotor. Eddy current losses in the case of the squirrel cage rotors are very less because of the induced EMF frequency is very less in the case of the squirrel cage rotor, because we have a relation, eddy currents are directly proportional to the square of the frequency. So the induced EMF frequency is less, so the eddy current losses in the induction motor squirrel cage rotor type is also very less. And the rotor winding, generally we preferred copper or aluminum bars. The copper bars are inserted in a semi-open type slots, and either side of these copper bars are short-circuited through end rings. These end rings should have a good mechanical strength as well as the good conductivity. So these end rings make a closed circuit. These end rings passes the current from one copper bar or one copper bar to another copper bar. So generally, the end rings are made up of forked copper or forked special copper. Forking is a process to increase the hardness of the material. So the end ring should have a good mechanical strength as well as the good conductivity. And instead of copper bars, we can also use aluminum bars, but it has their own disadvantages compared to the copper bars. Because of the aluminum bars, the resistance of the rotor is increases, so your ohmic losses are increases, and the maximum torque developed remains unchanged, but slip corresponding to the maximum torque also changes. So because of these disadvantages, generally copper bars are preferred in case of the squirrel cage rotors. So the rotor core is made up of, generally we preferred a high grade silicon steel material for making the rotor laminations. The lamination thickness is depending upon the frequency of induced EMF. The features of squirrel cage rotor: the rotor poles are equal to the stator poles by means of an induction. So generally here, in the case of the squirrel cage induction motor type rotor, the rotor poles are induced poles because of, according to the induction principle, the stator poles are induced as rotor poles. So it quickly responded to the any changes in the stator. So any parameter affects the stator. If any parameter affects the stator, the similar effect also carry forward to the rotor. So it is quickly responded to the changes in the stator because of the induced poles in the rotor winding. And in the case of the squirrel cage rotor, the air gap between the stator and rotor is also less. So due to the less air gap, magnetizing currents required is less, and due to the low magnetization current, power factor is increases, as well as the leakage reactance. Leakage reactance. There are definite drawbacks for a squirrel cage induction motor, that is a low starting torque, high starting current, and a poor power factor. Rotor low starting torque because of the um, rotor of this type of induction motor have very less resistance. High starting torque, high starting current because of the because of the impedance of the rotor is very less. So it is a closed circuit, so it draws more starting current at the time of start, and because of these reasons, the power factor is also very poor. And we make some corrections in the design of the squirrel cage induction motor to make it as effective type of the induction motor by skewed rotor slots and deep bars and double cage rotor. Skewed rotor slots are bars and double cage rotor as well as the deep bars. So generally the actual rotor have the rotor slots are very parallel to the stator slots, and here we can see the rotor slots are parallel to the stator slots. These were skewing is a process to incline the rotor bars, incline the rotor windings by a skewing, that is nothing but twisting of rotor windings by an inclination angle. It makes the increased resistance of the rotor bars. So length of the rotor bar increases because of the skewing. So the resistance of the rotor is also increases because the length resistance of the conductor, resistance of the wire is directly proportional to the length of the conductor. So according to the that relation, by skewing, the length of the conductor is increases, means rotor resistance is also increases. So because of non-uniform air gap, because of the non-uniform air gap between a stator and rotor, there are some effects will come into the picture. Those effects will be a cogging effect as well as the crawling effect of the three-phase induction motor. Cogging is nothing but a magnetic locking between a stator and a rotor teeth. Is called as a cogging or teeth locking of induction motor. So what is the cogging means? The motor fails to start. At the time of starting, when you are excite the three-phase stator with a balanced three-phase supply, it produces a rotating magnetic field. So rotating magnetic field, it produces the rotating magnetic field. At the time of starting, it refused to start because of the magnetic locking or teeth locking of the stator and rotor. It is because of stator slots are parallel to the rotor slots. One of the reason is the stator slots are parallel to the rotor slots, and rotor teeths and stator teeths have low reluctance. Due to low reluctance, alignment forces are produced. These alignment forces produces alignment torque. This alignment torque is greater than the starting torque of three-phase induction motor. That is why it is refused to start at the time of starting because of these reasons. So to overcome this phenomenon, we are making the rotor slots and stator slots are not equal or integral, either will not equal or integral ratio. And One more method, by skewing also we can eliminate the cogging effect of the three-phase induction motor. One more phenomenon called the crawling effect. The crawling effect is nothing but, even you are applying the rated voltage to the stator, it rotates very low speed. That is because of the harmonic torques produced in the winding. These are odd harmonics, third, fifth, as well as the seventh harmonics. So generally, we preferred fifth and seventh harmonics. That means the rotor fails to rotate at a nearly synchronous speed because of the fifth harmonics and seventh harmonics. The speed of the rotor reduces to ns by 7. Synchronous speed of the rotating magnetic field divides 7, means low rotating speed of the three-phase induction motor. So these phenomena also overcome slip ring induction motor or wound rotor. The rotor core is very similar. It is made up of silicon steel like your squirrel cage induction motor, and thickness of the laminations is also depending upon your induced currents or induced EMF frequency. The thickness of the lamination is more thicker than your laminations of the stator, and generally semi-closed type of the slats are preferred in the case of the slip ring induction motor rotor. In a slip ring induction motor rotor, rotor winding must be a distributed, and as well as it should be a short pitched winding to decrease the ohmic losses as well as to decrease the quantity of winding we used. And this type of rotors cannot be responded automatically to the changes in the stator because it is not the induced poles, and the stator winding either star or delta, three phase either star or delta, your rotor winding may not be equal number of phases, but the winding structure should be a star if it is a three phase winding, and rotor number of poles and the stator number of poles should be equal. The poles of the stator and poles of the rotor should be equal. If not equal, the motoring action will not be possible. You can see here slip ring induction motor, the star connected stator winding, either star or delta. Here we are taking a delta connected stator winding and a star connected rotor winding R, Y and V. These three phases are connected to slip rings which are placed on the shaft. So these three, 1, 2 and 3 slip rings which are connected, one side to the rotor winding, another side it is connected to the either load or a resistive load or whatever, any kind of the load, or else by 3 rheostats. That means variable rheostats. So in this case of the squirrel cage induction motor, rotor resistance can be varied with the help of an external bank of resistors which are connected in the rotor circuit. So we can increase the resistance of the rotor circuit, so that also increases the starting torque. So whereas in the case of the squirrel cage induction motor rotors, the resistance of the rotor will not be a variable. It is not a variable one. It is a fixed, means the resistance we cannot vary in the squirrel cage rotor structures, but we can vary in case of the slip ring induction motor rotor, because we have a flexibility to connect the external resistive bank to the rotor winding through slip ring and brush arrangement. So the starting torque of the slip ring induction motors are very high compared to the squirrel cage induction motors because of the variable resistance of rotor circuit. And whereas in the case of squirrel cage induction motors, we need to have a specific starting method, because the rotor have very low resistance, so it draws more current at the time of the starting. So to protect the machine from high starting currents, we need a specific starting method for squirrel cage induction machines. But in the case of the slip ring induction machine, we can somewhat manage without a starting method as well. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.